I just saw on the calendar that right now on Earth, it's almost Christmas time.
We don't have time for trivialities like Christmas.
But Peter's so sad about Gamora being gone. Maybe if we go to Earth for a really wonderful Christmas gift, it would make him happy. Something special he will never forget.
What about someone special?
We're looking for the legendary Kevin Bacon.
We're looking for the legendary Kevin Bacon.
I just said that, Drax.
Your voice is small and mousy. I think maybe he didn't hear you. You're coming with us as a Christmas present. I'm Groot.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Big surprise. Marvel dropped the trailer for the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. There's a whole bunch of Easter eggs and connections to what's happening in Marvel Phase 4 and Marvel Phase 5 because Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is a Marvel Phase 5 movie. So we'll break it all down. I'll explain where this fits in the canon, in the timeline, because it's sort of like in between Marvel Phase 4 and Marvel Phase 5 at the end of this year in a couple of weeks. We won't have to wait that long to actually get it. If you're brand new to the channel, of course, I'll be doing all kinds of videos for this and the other Marvel special presentations that they release along with the Disney Plus series and the movies. Be sure to subscribe to get everything. The whole idea with the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special is that, as the name implies, it's based on the Star Wars holiday special, very infamous. It's a big rite of passage as a Star Wars fan to watch the holiday special. If you can make it through the entire thing, you're a champ. That's also why the Marvel special presentation intro scene is meant to look exactly like the CBS special presentation intro scene. Like the logos are almost exactly the same. So it's them doing that, but with the Guardians of the Galaxy MCU characters in the MCU universe. It's meant to take place right after the events of Thor: Love and Thunder, after the Guardians of the Galaxy take off and Thor goes off on his adventure, but before the events of Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Now, I've already done a Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer video. I'll link that in the description below and at the end of this, because we see Adam Warlock for the first time. We also find out what happened to Gamora, which they're talking about during this holiday special trailer. Like, part of the plot is inspired by Peter Quill being so depressed and the Guardians wanting to cheer him up, and because it's near Christmas, and throw a big Christmas party for him, big Christmas celebration. I'm assuming it's about as long in length as the Werewolf by Night special presentation. Also, for reference, because Werewolf by Night was so successful for Marvel because people loved it so much, they do have a lot of plans to do more of those types of special presentations, like one-offs, instead of doing a full Disney Plus series or a full movie for every single character. Really good example and cool connection to the Guardians of the Galaxy is Silver Surfer. They've talked about doing Silver Surfer as a special presentation a couple months before the new Fantastic Four movie comes out in a couple years. Obviously, the real big things that we see during this trailer, at least, there are probably a couple big surprises too. But we see the full-size version of Groot, Alpha Groot. I'll talk about him in a second. But also real-life Kevin Bacon, like they're canonizing Kevin Bacon to the MCU now. Real-life Kevin Bacon. He's not playing the Sebastian Shaw X-Men First Class version of his character. But this does canonize the X-Men films to the MCU because, remember, real-life Kevin Bacon is an actor. He would have played that role in the X-Men film. So all the movies that that actor made are now canon to the MCU. This is mostly about the Footloose reference from Avengers Infinity War.
Tell them about the dance-off to save the universe.
What dance-off?
It's not.
Like in Footloose, the movie?
Exactly like Footloose. Is it still the greatest movie in history?
It never was.
Don't encourage this, all right?
The other real big character that we see during this, although we've seen them before, is Cosmo the Space Dog, but we're actually going to see them talk during this movie. I think the idea is that Cosmo also shows up during Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but this will be the first time that we've heard her talk. So she's a talking dog voiced by Maria Bakalova. You've probably seen her in a couple other things recently. In the MCU, in the Marvel Comics, her backstory is that she's a Russian space dog, and she's based on the real-life Russian space dog Laika, who the Russians fired into space on a test flight in the 1950s. In the MCU, when she was sent to space, she was just mutated by cosmic rays and wound up on Nowhere, and then part of the Collector's collection. Because his whole thing is that he collects all the unique things and really valuable things that he can find. That's why he wanted to collect Groot as well. Like anything unique that he could find, like, oh, you need to be part of my collection. Obviously, she escaped when the Collector was killed by Thanos. The other real big surprise is that in the one sheet that Marvel released for this with like the entire cast, Michael Rooker was also listed in the cast, but they didn't say if he'd be coming back as a version of Yondu, either as a flashback or in some crazy twist in present day, or if he'd be in it as actual Michael Rooker in a Kevin Bacon kind of twist, like real life Kevin Bacon, maybe it's real life Michael Rooker, but I think it's probably more of a Yondu twist. I do not think that Chris Hemsworth is going to have a cameo as Thor. Like, they'll probably reference a little bit about what happened during Thor Love and Thunder, just to reference the timeline a little bit. But obviously this is meant to take place around the end of November, early December, near Christmas time during this year in the MCU. And I believe it's meant to be the year 2024 because that's around the time where Thor Love and Thunder happened. So this would just be like a little bit later that year that this is happening. It is supposed to take place after the events of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is like the last major Marvel Phase 4 movie, but this is sort of like a hanging thread on the end of Marvel Phase 4 before the official beginning of Marvel Phase 5. The official beginning of Marvel Phase 5 is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I literally just did a trailer video for that, so I'll link it at the end of this and down in the description below too, because it looks amazing. Cannot wait to see Kang destroy Ant-Man. R.I.P. Ant-Man. So just starting at the beginning of the trailer footage though, they have the same type of intro that they had at the beginning of Werewolf by Night. Obviously the difference is they're not doing it black and white, like it looks more like an actual Marvel Studios production, a movie like you would expect in full color. They play the Christmas music through the entire trailer just to highlight the actual season, like this is the Christmas season basically. They call it the holiday trailer just because of all the different religions have different holidays. The planet that they start on, though, I believe is meant to be Contraxia, which is sort of like the Ravagers' pleasure planet that they go to between their missions. They just hang out on all the time. Kraglin becomes a much bigger character in this and during Guardians of the Galaxy 3. You also notice he's wearing Yondu's fin, the full fin, which he got at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. He was wearing it during Guardians of the Galaxy 3 as well.
Oh, hey, guys.
Kraglin! You been here this whole time?
Yeah, you said to stay with the ship? This is Glenda? We're married.
He's still slowly figuring out how to use it the way that Yondu did. I think the reason why their costumes look a little bit more like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 in this is just because of the timing of when they filmed it, even though it's meant to take place after Thor Love and Thunder. One of the other big differences between this and Thor Love and Thunder, the other Guardians of the Galaxy movies, is that a lot of it seems like it's practical effects instead of just full special effects. Particularly the alpha version of Groot, like the full-size version of Groot. He's not full CG. The comedy here coming from the fact that all the Guardians are mostly from alien planets. They don't know a lot about Earth culture, so they're trying to figure it out and try to cheer Peter Quill up. They also had a joke about that when Kraglin gave Peter Quill the Zune at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Now, it was a present meant to be from Yondu, but the whole idea is that they thought that it was a really big deal. Like, Yondu thought that it was this really huge deal that could hold all these songs, and Kraglin also thought that it was a really amazing thing. But in real life, Zunes are this long-dead technology, basically. Some of the Christmas scenes, some of the decorations here are meant to take place on the Contraxia planet, and some of it is meant to take place on actual Earth, on actual Hollywood Boulevard, because they do actually travel to Earth. Like, what is going on here? This is so weird. And it seems like what's going on here is that it's just Mantis and Drax that go back to planet Earth on a completely different ship. Like, this isn't the Benatar, it's a completely different ship. They go back to Earth to steal Kevin Bacon and bring him back to try and cheer Peter Quill up. But they're basically kidnapping him. Like, that's the whole comedy. Like, are you the real-life Kevin Bacon? You need to come with us right now. And if it wasn't clear, if you've never been to Hollywood Boulevard in Los Angeles, California, this is the real Hollywood Boulevard. Like, James Gunn literally just filmed them walking around with everybody else in the broad daylight. This is very near Mann's Chinese Theater and the theater across the street that Disney actually owns where they hold a lot of their premieres. So on this street here, like right next to this block, is where Marvel has a lot of their movie premieres. This is still Contraxia, they just all dressed it up like Christmas. This seems like Drax and Mantis having fun while they're on planet Earth, like they're partying it up with a bunch of regular people. There's also a Yarvo Easter egg in the background too during these scenes. Yarvo is actually the name of a director in real life who's just really good friends with James Gunn, who he also produces movies for. I believe he's also the person that directed Brightburn. You notice when they're celebrating Christmas on Contraxia, they're all wearing the Christmas sweaters. Drax is wearing the meme sweater of the cat with the laser eyes. We see the full-size version of Groot, so presumably he's grown to full size at some point, maybe at the beginning of this, maybe they'll have some joke about that during the actual holiday special. And they have the big joke about them going to steal Kevin Bacon, against his will it seems like. We don't see any scenes of him on actual Contraxia, but they may actually pay that off during the course of the special, like they actually do wind up stealing him and taking him to Contraxia. It'll be interesting to see what kind of dance-off joke they pay off when he shows up, because that was the whole thing with Peter Quill. You mean like Footloose? Oh, exactly like Footloose, referencing the dance-off at the end of the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, because that's what happened at the end of the Footloose movie. The whole joke was they had a big dance-off at the end of Footloose. So maybe small chance of Kevin Bacon and Peter Quill dancing at the end of this somehow. As far as I know, though, Gamora is not going to be in this. They'll probably just reference her. But we do actually know what happened to Gamora because I did a whole video on the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer that they released. She is now the de facto leader of the Ravagers, like she's filled the power vacuum, and I believe it's meant to be a big surprise for Peter Quill and the other Guardians at the beginning of the Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Like at the beginning of the movie, they go to dock with the Dark Aster that the Ravagers are still using. The piece of it that survived, part of it was blown up, but not all the ship. And when the door opens, they pull out their guns on them. And the big reveal is that the leader that they're there to meet is Gamora. Like she walks through and they're all surprised. Like Peter Quill can't believe it. So it's like Gamora has gone full Thanos, sort of taking over her own small slice of territory. But it's the Ravagers this time, and she's acting more like a space pirate, like you would expect the Ravagers to. So one of the ongoing plot lines is them sort of winning Gamora back to the family, so to speak, the Guardians of the Galaxy, because she's a completely different version of the character who had none of those experiences with them from the first film. The other big storyline next to Adam Warlock, obviously, is the High Evolutionary, and I believe he's meant to be the person who created Rocket. I talk about that during my Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer, so you can watch that if you want to learn more about him. But the big news here, like I said, is that the holiday special is coming out November 25th. We just got that Ant-Man 3 trailer, so there'll probably be a couple other trailers before the end of the year as well, too. If you have any big questions about what's going on during this, or how it fits into the canon, or what's going on with the characters when this picks up, just write them in the comments below. But we'll get more trailers for this as we get a little bit closer, so I'll do more bonus videos, and obviously I'll do like a full breakdown and Easter eggs, just like I did for Werewolf by Night. Also, links for my Werewolf by Night video down in the description below too. Everyone click here for that full Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer video, and click here for my full Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer video and Easter eggs. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.